Irish.
Oh, damn it! It's the far shot, of course. Rob, it's the far shot. It's the far shot. It's not shining.
Joe, please. Let me make my point.
The light isn't blue. I don't care. Just figure you'd like to know.
Now you get out.
It's kind of a bummer.
Is it live?
Oh, yeah. We will be momentarily.
Gonna have a jug band back here, and if Jen don't let me strum the worst part, we're gonna resort to cutting.
They want to switch it out. This is the Onion News Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Welcome to the Anarchics. Already off to a great fucking start. How you kids doing tonight? Just kidding. So I've got two hosts in the room. I have Emily. Hello. And I have a very high profile guest in here. I'm honored. Christopher fucking David's here.
Hi there.
Fuck yeah. How's it going, Chris?
Super duper. How much am I getting for this, by the way?
I hope you take audio time by donation. So, some of you may notice that Ellen's not here. Don't worry, I'll address that later in a very professional manner, but chill out, we cool. But what later, I'll explain. Now, so this is a very exciting night because it's my first time being like a real hosty host. So hopefully I don't fuck up too bad. Sorry if I apologize in advance. I also, Emily, you're like a total casual noob. She doesn't even have the fucking microwave in front. Microphone.
I need this microwave.
Yeah, the microwave. Pull the microwave in front of you.
Is this how it works?
Am I
doing it right? No, I'm not. Oh, okay.
I didn't even get briefing time. I like rushed in here like shit. I'm late for my own radio show because I'm the fucking rock star of LRN. I don't give a fuck.
Always.
So Emily, you've never done this before.
No.
How do you feel?
I feel good. A little nervous, but I know the crowd's, forgiving. Let's hope they're forgiving, but yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and make sure you stay right up on that mic. I'll turn you up a little bit. Now, Chris.
What was that? You guys hear me okay? I don't hear myself through the...
There we go. There
I
you are.
had you muted.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is going so well. So I'm excited to have you here because we've been following your story for quite a while here on the Anarchics. So the Portsmouth City Council situation, I want to give a brief summary of like how they've been fucking with you and the results of that. I know that you went to a bunch of city council meetings. Did the court case ever get wrapped up?
So my felony charge was just downgraded to a misdemeanor last week. So that was super. So I am no longer facing 3 to 7 years in state prison. I'm only facing 1 year in county jail and a $2,000 fine, as if that wasn't bad enough. So that's still processing and ongoing. Good to have it downgraded, I suppose. There's a new city council, and I've said hello to them, and we don't really know what they're going to do about the Uber issue. I think right now people are kind of holding their breath to see what the state does now that the state is considering legislation that would kind of set up these ride-sharing regulations statewide, and there's some major problems with that bill. But, things are kind of not really resolved in Portsmouth, other than, we've got a lot of excitement now around the Arcade City launch, which is going to be about 100 times bigger than we initially thought it was going to be.
Arcade City.
Arcade City,
what's that?
Decentralized Uber is the concept. The longer sentence is we want to create a logistics network on the blockchain, completely decentralized. That's going to let anyone schedule services like rides or anything else you want on the blockchain, completely anonymous if you want it to be, but impenetrable.
So it's like the Bitcoin of ride sharing.
Yeah, you could say that.
So how does the money work? How do they get paid? I mean, do they choose their own rates, or how does that work?
So when we launch, we are launching with a couple different options. One is peer-to-peer mode, which is what we did on New Year's Eve, where drivers can get paid whatever they work out with the customer. We had a number of rides that we gave, free rides or by donation rides And it worked out really well because, when you give people really good service, kind of hands-on white glove service, we found consistently that people would voluntarily give 2 to 3 times what we would have gotten from Uber. And that's, also not giving a cut to Uber, 20% that they take. So, the whole kind of magic of Bitcoin and blockchain is like, identifying these markets where there's this big margin. Western Union is something that people talk a lot about, like remittance about, transferring money across borders. And if you're in the US and you're trying to send money home to Mexico, do you really want to be giving 30 to 40% of that to Western Union? Or do you want to just convert it into Bitcoin and pay your 1 penny fee and get it across? Anywhere there's that margin where there doesn't need to be, it's an opportunity for disruption.
So here's something I was thinking about. So the rate that Arcade City takes, or doesn't take, I shouldn't say take, the rate that Arcade City gets, you said, so they can pay with credit card, cash. Now with cash, how, I guess it's up to the driver, but how exactly would Arcade City get a cut, like if they paid in cash?
So there's 2 payment modes. One is peer-to-peer, one is gamified. Gamified is all payment through the app. Peer-to-peer, if you're paying in cash, it's by definition peer-to-peer. And, can you imagine the radical, crazy idea of us like making a platform available that, we connect to people and they pay in cash and we actually don't need to inject ourselves into that transaction? We think that the majority of transactions, at least, eventually are going to be through the app where people are going to want to hook up their credit cards, what people kind of expect. And we'll take, 10% off of that. But for, rides, if people want to be completely, off grid or just kind of use it for themselves and build their own business and not interact with the corporation or the startup, completely free to do that.
Well, damn, that's pretty kick-ass. So how's it going so far? I know you want to have 100 drivers by the end of January, if I'm right. How's that going?
That was the goal. We just crossed the 1,300 mark today. We've been signing up over 100 drivers per day, and that's been increasing. The rate of signups has been increasing.
What are you at now?
1,300. We just crossed the 1,300 mark.
Damn. Nice.
So, the majority of those are, we have maybe 30-ish in New Hampshire, maybe a little bit more. And the rest are across the country. Some of them are in Canada. Some of them are in Australia. One of them is in Valparaiso, Chile.
Whoa.
Not that we're going to like have a bunch of drivers there. But look, if there's one driver that wants to use our technology to, have their own driver profile page and market themselves locally, we want them to have the certain either payment or communication with their passengers and the rating system, all that kind of like technical stuff that you need or people expect in an app, and be able to just market herself to her own market directly. Like we're basically, the idea is to empower people to be more entrepreneurial. Uber does not encourage its drivers to create a recurring customer base. They specifically discourage that. And we think that's kind of ludicrous.
That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. So basically, wow. So what about like insurance and stuff and regulations?
We
big scary government
are also kind of taking a hands-off, decentralized approach toward that, which looks like, we're letting different people, different states come up with their own solution to that. So there are, people in New Hampshire are probably generally going to take maybe a different standpoint than people in, I don't know, California or some of the other areas, and that's completely fine. So because this is a, decentralized platform, we want to support if there's some group of, 50 drivers that wants to get together in, Tennessee and band together and pool money or figure out how to, either register with the state or whatever the relevant regulations are. If they want to do that themselves as their own LLC and they kind of go through that process, completely fine. I don't need to be involved in it. I don't need to sign off on it. They can just do what they want and use our technology. If there are people in New Hampshire that say, you know what, I want to run a complete off the grid Agora cab and have things be, anonymous, and I'm going to vet my passengers through this, like, make sure that I have their private keys. If someone come up with some crazy like verification algorithm that can help them like market to some niche of like super blockchain nerds who want rides and want to do everything on the blockchain, like completely cool. Make that, promote yourself. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. It's an open platform. We're trying this whole like freedom idea and see how that works for us.
Freedom. Well, shit. That's awesome. I've said that like 20 times. Don't worry, you guys. I'll get my shit together soon. Anyways, we'll be back with more Christopher David, Arcade City Talk. And yeah, stay tuned. You are listening to the Anarchics.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting vandykemortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook.
So since we're in the break show right now, I'm going to just tell you guys, I never have... Well, that's not true. I'm just nervous, so don't mind me. I promise I'll get my shit together fast. I'm already chilling out a little bit now that this isn't this is normal. I just don't have my sidekick, so it's cool. Just bear with me, kids. Probably need to turn this fucking mic down. Where the fuck is Ian?
You can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
I'm Ian Freeman, host of Free Talk Live. We've been covering Uber for years on the radio with their ongoing legal cases across the globe defending your right to give people rides without asking government permission. I wanted to support Uber more directly, so I signed up to be a driver. It's fun to meet new people and help Uber push forward innovation. As of this recording, Uber is active in 67 countries, so there's a good chance they're available in your area. If you'd like to drive for Uber and make some money helping people get where they want to go, sign up at drive.freetalklive.com and you'll get a $100 bonus after you complete a certain number of trips. With Uber, you can drive anytime you want. You set your schedule. To get started, need a good driving record, 4-door vehicle, insurance, registration, and to pass a background check. It costs nothing to...
The chat room's asking a ton of questions, Chris, so...
Let me get on mine. That's drive.freetalklive.com. And if you just want to try Uber as a rider, visit ride.freetalklive.com. Your first ride's free.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio.
What up with the name? Everyone's like, what the fuck's up with the name?
Ask me that on there, because that's...
I absolutely... Whoa, so many names. Welcome back to the Anarchics. So, like I said, we got Christopher David with us from Arcade City. We got tons of questions from pouring in from the chat room. By the way, chat, join it at lrn.fm. The volume? Yeah, I got you. I got you, girl.
Thank you, girl.
I got you. Have you no fear. Meanwhile, Renee is having so much fun, like, being a host right now. This is going so well. So, anyways, what I was thinking, Chris, well, what the chat room was thinking, what's up with the name? What, Arcade City? Is that a reference to Arcadia or video game shit? What is that?
So I'll just explain to you my thought process in picking it. The name I wanted to go with was Agora. Just call it Agora. And then I realized, oh, Agora is already the name of like a really popular drug marketplace, like dark web, like Silk Road 2.0 type thing. It's like, I probably should pick something fresh. So I went to thesaurus.com or whatever and dropped Agora into the thesaurus, and the first thing that came up was arcade. I was like, what arcade? And then I searched that dictionary, and it was like, arcade is kind of like that term for like an area where commerce takes place, like in the older version before it meant like video games and stuff. I was like, okay, I could see that. And then I thought, given that part of what we're building into this platform is gamification, like we want to build a gamified Agora where like you can have like points and you can like level up your profile by like getting good ratings, and like you're a level 20 driver and a level 5 courier or whatever. And so like, oh, gamified Agora arcade. Okay, I see that. And then it kind of dawned on me like, oh yeah, then that would kind of let us maybe hint at the whole like Arcadia concept of, hey, if we have 10 years from now, New Hampshire has seceded, but our brethren in Maine and Vermont have not yet seceded, and we push the concept of Arcadian independence, and then the three of us kind of break off from the empire and do our own thing. Yeah, I could see that there could be some propaganda value in having it be Arcade City and have that be the popular thing, and then referring to Arcadians. I don't know. It'll connect some way at some point in a way that makes sense, I'm sure. But yeah, that's the long answer to it.
Very long, very long.
Right on. Emily, you had a question?
Yeah. So how do you ensure the safety of your drivers and the customers?
You don't. So there's a couple of mechanisms to kind of, we want to institutionalize best practices as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting by only allowing people on the platform who have been through a recognized background check through like Uber or Lyft. If you are an approved Uber or Lyft driver, you made it through their application process, that's good enough for us, because we do not have our own budget to pay for a background check process. We think that's going to change pretty soon here. But for now, that makes sense. But we're going to have a really good rating system. People are going to be able to rate up or down, and we want to provide a little bit more information than Uber's does. Uber, like, I can see that a rider's like a 4.1, and like that's like pretty low for Uber, but I want to know if that's because they've like been a consistently low tipper, or they're just like I want to know the reason why. So
Right.
There's some interesting things we can do in terms of creating a reputation system, which it really comes down to, if you're talking about like agorism and providing information about people, and our weapon is not leveraging the government to force you to not do something or to punish you. It's like we're going to publicly shame you, and if your stuff gets enough like public shaming, then you're just no longer invited on the platform.
Right.
Type thing.
So that's something I would definitely consider a plus for the drivers. Also, I think that another plus for the drivers would be the fact that they can set their own rates, because you'll probably get better ratings based on your, good pricing, shitty pricing. So I think that's a plus. I would consider Arcade City a ride-sharing service by the people for the people.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know,
We should make that
Chris.
our slogan.
Yeah, we should. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I come up with all my own material. Another thing I was thinking, so far promoting has been going pretty well.
Promoting's been going quite well. You know, coming from the standpoint of, all right, like how do we deliver on this, you know, thing that people think that we can be, even though we didn't really set out to do this, which is to like really contend with Uber. Like we were intending for this to be just kind of like this, you know, cool agorist project here in New Hampshire, and maybe, you know, like, you know, 2 weeks ago, I was thinking maybe we would only focus on Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont and like not expand it beyond that. But when Uber did their rate cuts and then Lyft followed suit, you know, in this past week, where, you know, across the country, they cut rates by, you know, sometimes up to 40%. And that means that every single driver on the platform is now getting 40% less take home pay. Like there are protests across the country. Like they're going to any Facebook group that's like an Uber driver's Facebook group, and people are like pissed off, boycotting. And so it's like the perfect time to launch, you know, an alternative that can actually contend. And that's what people have why people have, you know, kind of flocked to this, you know, crap. I mean, the website for Arcade City, you know, if you're looking at it before, you know, Monday, the 25th, like the website's terrible. Like it's a piece of crap that I threw up in like a few hours.
What is the website?
Arcade.city. Like,
Arcade.city.
It's terrible. It's abysmal, but it's, you know, 1,300 people have signed up to drive in the past 10 days. And, you know, people, you know, someone today said they were in a Lyft in Miami Beach, and the driver said to them all about Arcade City and how excited they were that it was going to launch there soon. It's like we've gotten the word out so well, partly because we've just like kind of given an extra incentive to drivers, which is, hey, any drivers that you sign up through your referral code, you're going to get a percentage of their rides for life. And people will be like, oh, that's like really freaking awesome. Uber has a terrible referral program compared to that. So some people have gone crazy with it and have just like, you know, been massively organizing their region and have recruited like 50 drivers. And so like it's spread, you know, quite fast in that way.
Rock on. One thing I was thinking, the way that I heard about Uber originally, I was somewhere downtown. Some of my friends and I were drunk. We were in Keene, where Uber isn't very active. And some guy from Uber Black comes up with some business cards for Uber Black, the driver's name, and it's a free ride. So I think that's something that how would that work? I think that's a great way to get people in your car.
To offer them a free ride,
basically for like a free trial. You know what I'm saying?
Well, aren't you already doing that? I mean,
well, kind of, yeah. I mean, just at the top of my head sounded like kind of creepy because I know that Uber's not like officially active in Keene, so I don't know what that dude was like trying to do. But does that mean we're done? What is this?
It means we're going into the break.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll be back with more Anarchics, more with Christopher David. And Arcade City. Woohoo!
Japan grants suffrage to female robots, and a hypochondriac maple tree is always convinced it has Asian longhorn beetles. The following two statements are true. The previous statement is false, and this is the Onion Week in Review. This week, Americans nationwide were stunned to hear horrific allegations
done
on
before
Wall
this
Street
started, but we kind of rushed in here.
junior bankers
Chris, can I hear you?
to survive on a mere
Testing.
$6,800 per week. The findings,
Testing,
which implicate
testing.
numerous high-profile
You
financial
good?
institutions such as Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Citibank, suggest that hundreds
yes,
of
please
first-year
do.
bankers are constantly deprived of basic necessities, including penthouse apartments
exactly what
overlooking
happened
Central
with
Park
camera
and
around.
regular company-financed vacations to the French Riviera.
Many of these bankers are 23 or 24 years old and don't even have access to an expense account of over $50,000 a year. Not only that, but some of them are making as little as 20 times minimum wage. I mean, this is truly disgraceful.
This is the Onion News Network. It's not actually.
Oh.
This is your Robertson
What
Roberts.
Okay, I
Brokerage
thought
Daily
that was
Precious
kinda
Metals
weird.
Update. In early trading on Friday, gold is $4 lower at $1,098 per ounce. Silver is 6 cents higher at $14.26 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $395 US. Roberts & Roberts has been helping people invest in precious metals for nearly 40 years. If you want to find out more about gold and silver, give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
This is how you change.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you?
Just those 2 3.
Liberty activists are joining
Okay.
the Free
Here's you,
State Project,
there's that.
which is over
Bam.
90% of the way to its goal of 20,000
You rock. Best
participants.
producer ever. What
And
the
they're
fuck would I
already
do?
making the move to New Hampshire. The successes are piling up and are proving the
Okay.
Free State
So like this
Project
app's
is
still
a
in the
real
work. Like it's
movement
not
and
it's
no
not like
longer
out yet,
just a
right?
great
The app
idea.
itself.
When you're planning
February
your
14th.
move,
Okay.
consider
I'll
Keene.
get to that
Keene is
too.
famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation.
Check your
and
mic
there's
for me,
plenty
will
of
ya?
political
Check,
opposition.
check, check.
If you're a
Check
regular
and check,
reader of
check.
freekeene.com,
Testing, testing.
there's
Test,
a lot
test,
going on
test. You
in
good?
Keene.
Check,
Keene,
check, check,
Liberty
check,
Media
check, check,
capital of the
check,
world,
check, check,
with
check.
television,
La, la,
talk
la,
radio,
la,
and
la. Okay,
more, all
you're good.
originating here.
I'm good.
It's more
We're
than
all
just
good.
activism.
Now
With
I'm not going
regular
to touch
social
stuff over
events
there.
each week. See what's
Because I
happening
cannot be
at
trusted.
freekeene.com and get connected with video,
Freekeene.com.
audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can download and use in your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose
It's all about
others to
choice.
our
You can
great
go with the
programs.
mainstream text after you can go with this
You'll
fucking
find
convicted
resources
felon for a
at
ride and they go with the
LRN.FM,
felon.
including details on how to
What's
get a
a
free
felon?
bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed.
I've heard so
Road to
many of these
Freedom.
fucking commercials.
Filmed by Michael W.
I know most of them
Dean and
forwards and
Neil Badati.
backwards.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can sign up to receive the
We'll be back after
Liberty
this.
Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's
The fuck is that?
updates.lrn.fm.
Someone in the chat thinks I should listen.
Yes, 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 and welcome back to the Anarchics. Guess what? We're still here with Christopher David. We're having so much fun. We're learning about Arcade City, which is his brand new ride-sharing company. Now, well, it's going to be an app.
It's an app.
It is an app. Has
It's
it
a-
launched yet?
Uh,
Where is it? Why can't I find it on my phone, Chris?
You can find it on GitHub,
GitHub.
or you can wait for February 14th. That's when the masses will get their hands on it.
The fuck is GitHub?
It's where coders can share code. So it's where we're open sourcing it. So like we're giving the code away for free. Another difference between us and Uber. Like anyone can take it, anyone can add to it, take it and make their own business based on it. We don't care. I'm firmly believing in the open source philosophy that if you just kind of throw it out there and let other people contribute, that other people will be happy to. And it lends to more resilient, secure, better platforms if you let more people kind of add their feedback to it and let them kind of kick the tires, and you end up attracting way more people faster. We kind of have to do it because we don't have a budget to like hire some big engineer people, but just by kind of what we've had so far and the fact that we are open sourcing this, I mean, we've had people reach out to us who are like, established Silicon Valley software engineer types, just be like, hey, I want to help with this. It's like, all right, cool. Like, there's the GitHub channel. Like, help us out.
So you've had like a kick-ass response. How much negative response have you received?
Quite a lot from people who just don't get decentralization or don't people who get Bitcoin and like blockchain dynamics. They'll ask informed questions like, "Oh, cool, I get what you're doing. You know, how do you solve the problem of insurance or customer safety?" And then I'll kind of explain how like we are approaching applying the blockchain tech to that. But other people are just like, "Oh, you're not offering insurance to everybody. You're gonna fail." It's like, well, if you're thinking that we're trying to create Uber, then sure, I can see exactly why you would say that. But this, you know, is an entirely different organizational model, you know, in just the same way that, you know, the blockchain that underlies Bitcoin in revolutionizing money. I mean, all the smart investors that are investing in Bitcoin, the thing that they love about it is not Bitcoin, the currency, which is like relatively unexciting. It's that underlying technology that solves that problem of trust in peer-to-peer relationships. So then it's like that concept is going to be applied over the next decade to 2 decades to industry after industry. It's going to revolutionize literally everything. And so far, no one has figured out how to apply that concept to ride sharing. There's been one other company, startup based out of Israel called Lazuz, that has like taken that on. And they've done, you know, a really interesting like concept. They launched an app where you have like a proof of movement token where, you know, you connect to the network, you turn the app on, and then as you drive, you generate these tokens, which you then use. And it's like really interesting. But they've been, you know, around for about a year and no one's done a ride through their platform, but they're trying to do like a relaunch and stuff. And we're in touch with their team because we're like, you know, they have a particular approach to this problem. We have a little bit of a different approach. And, you know, we're kind of like, both in the inquiry of how do we solve this problem of like decentralized ride sharing. If we Arcade City can be the first like real startup to solve that problem, I mean, that's, you know, it's going to be a big business and also a big like opportunity to do some really interesting things. I mean, what Silk Road and what some of these, you know, what now Open Bazaar is doing in terms of like, you know, radical decentralized peer-to-peer file sharing or content sharing, to do that same thing for logistics and ride sharing, where you can have off the grid kind of stuff that's kind of like, you know, bandit cabs all over the place. You know, that's going to be a big help to agorism or libertarianism, anarchism, however you want to describe it.
Now, you mentioned insurance. I'm not very familiar with Uber, but how do they supply insurance to their drivers, and what does that cover? And I guess why? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so Uber offers insurance to drivers when they are transporting a passenger. The policy of $1 million that covers them during that time where they're like on the network. So we are not in a position to do that, obviously. So, you know, different states have different regulations and are solving it in different ways. So I can't really speak to what other states are doing. Definitely, I see in the groups people are like really solving this in ways that make sense for their state. Here in New Hampshire, you know, the bill that defines TNCs or transportation network companies, the kind of companies like Uber is, that's still making its way through the State House. So because all of these insurance companies are like waiting on this official definition of TNC, there's no ride sharing specific products for New Hampshire. So if we want to operate in Arcade City and we want to do it legally, then we have to register some cars as livery cars. Basically, we have to get the livery plates like a limo would, and then, you know, you've got the commercial assurance that's attached to that policy for about, you know, $5,000 a year per vehicle. And so how we're kind of approaching this now is that we're going to have, you know, we plan to have 2 or 3 of those vehicles live by launch on February 14th. So at the very least, we will have those. And then we're still kind of looking at, you know, if we think that encouraging this kind of decentralized approach to having different teams in different states figuring their own way through the regulations, is that going to be fast enough? Or are we just not really able to or don't want to raise, you know, the money that we need to comply with these different regulations? And maybe we want to have, you know, half of the rides, you know, approximately be kind of above board regulated, kind of fit within the regulatory structure. And there's certainly a lot of drivers in our network that are interested in doing that. But I think more and more as people recognize the power of building services and building an ecosystem and an economy that is outside of the grid, that's based on blockchain technology, where you can actually, you know, obscure these transactions from the relevant authorities. as that becomes more and more of a viable option for people, I think you're going to see more and more of a trend in that direction, and we want to support those people.
So we're kind of dependent on our people that are coming through volunteering right now to get this the fuck off the ground. Like, nothing's going to happen if people don't grow a pair and take charge and make some goddamn money for themselves.
Yes.
Now, what is blockchain technology? Can you explain that a little bit?
So the blockchain is the technology underlying Bitcoin. And if you haven't heard of Bitcoin, it's kind of like digital money. The blockchain is a new invention. It was the invention of, the person we don't know his real identity, who goes by Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. And the blockchain, basically, it's a distributed ledger of all these different computers around the world. They have these different computers and servers that all talk to one another. And it basically makes it so that you can have this large network of servers that has no central point of failure, where they all agree on what the truth is. So that's a break from the past. In the past, it was, we need to rely on this bank to tell us where the money is, and we're all relying on these centralized institutions. But now, thanks to the blockchain, we can actually have this, remove the bank from the picture entirely, and you can send, $38 million worth of Bitcoin, in 10 minutes to anywhere in the world for no transaction fee, or for $1 transaction fee. So that's the kind of interesting thing that people have been talking about mostly for the past 5 years is, Bitcoin as this currency, this digital currency, cryptocurrency that uses blockchain tech. And if you listen to kind of the smart investors like Mark Andreessen, people who are pouring tens of millions of dollars into the Bitcoin space, they say that Bitcoin is, money is the first app on the blockchain. There's going to be tens, if not hundreds, of different apps in all these different sectors that are just going to completely revolutionize these sectors. And I think ride sharing is, you can make a credible case that that's one of the sectors that's going to be revolutionized by this technology. But the big trend is away from these, monolithic, corporate pyramids, and more toward a distributed network that's more accessible to everyone.
This is so cool. I'm excited that this conversation is happening. More on decentralization, kick-ass new apps called Arcade City, and Christopher fucking David, and 2 cute girls when we come back. More Anarchics. Stay tuned.
Are you an experienced Uber or Lyft driver with excellent ratings? If so, then you're ready to upgrade to Arcade City. Arcade City is a ride-sharing app built by drivers for drivers. It's more decentralized than Uber and Lyft. With Arcade City, you keep all of what you earn. Sign up now to drive for Arcade City at arcade.freetalklive.com. That's arcade.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation.
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated,
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Instead of just listening, you can also watch. See the Liberty Radio Network's key New Hampshire-based live shows via our studio cam at cam.lrn.fm. Plus, you'll still be able to listen to the Liberty Radio Network via the cam feed in high quality 24/7, even when there's no live show being produced in our Keene studio. But wait, there's more. Our chat room is built into the cam page so you can interact with other listeners online. Listen, watch, and chat, all free at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to the Anarchics. Yes, chat room.
Can we answer these folks' questions? Let's just answer these folks' questions.
See, now, here's the thing. I have to go through a bunch of shit to find the questions because they're fucking
trolls. You're all trolls.
Oh, not all of them.
Show them some love.
Not all the our chat room is. I love my chat room because I am also, I'm with you guys.
Okay, can I start from the top? Every statement with a question mark, I'm just gonna read out loud.
Go for it.
Okay, so LRN newbies 205. How's it going, man? So I can launch my own ride sharing service, Uber Blowjob, where you pay with rides with oral sex. Yes, you can do that. Next question. And I can advertise with sexy pictures inside the app. Inside probably like a website that you attach to the app that you promote through it, or you can fork the code and launch your own version of the app, which just has that sexy pictures attached to each page, however you want to do it. Sounds like communism to me. Open source? No. I think you asked this again later, so let's scroll down a little bit. Looking for more question marks.
Insulting Renee. God, chat room, come on, I love you. Show me
Renee,
some love.
do you have an accent mark over the first E in your name?
Technically I do. I just never use it. Actually, I think it's over the second. I don't know. I haven't used it in so fucking long. Terrible.
All right, so LRN newbie wants to hear more about how people will magically step up because it's on GitHub. The interesting, it's not just because it's on GitHub, but just putting out what we're trying to do, and on our Facebook page, you can see we're just kind of declaring war against Uber. I shelled out a few dollars to run a Facebook ad targeting San Francisco and just making fun of these fucking nerds that are running these ride sharing companies and how much they suck and are not drivers, and just talking shit about them. And the response to that has been really positive, and we have a number of Silicon Valley startup people who've said, hey, I want to work with you and help out. And so fucking yeah, we actually have 6 pretty hardcore software developers working on this, going to be coordinating through GitHub. So you're welcome to watch our GitHub as it evolves over the next 2 weeks into a completed app. And if you're a Angular, Ionic, CouchDB, PouchDB, or eventually Python developer, you are more than welcome to help us out.
So I'm excited to see, hopefully, since And I mean, we're growing as far as the Free State Project goes in New Hampshire. So there's a lot of liberty-minded people here. So I would like to see New Hampshire kind of lead the way for this project. And I know you said something to the same effect. And I'm excited. I'm kind of involved in this process. Haven't done too much so far. Mostly just strategizing. But I'm working on it, Chris. I'm working on it. But yeah, this is awesome. How do you think we can do more to promote and get the idea out? Where do we find more information on this besides the website?
Well, there have been a number of media articles coming out, and we aggregate some of them on our website, arcade.city. That's a few days out of date. I'll actually drop the link to the wiki in the chat. At the bottom, there's like a link to more media, but that can kind of like go into a little bit of the like longer term plans in terms of like how we're monetizing this and using blockchain tech and yada yada yada.
I know Cointelegraph just put out a great article too.
Yeah, and the Cointelegraph article got like 10 times as many shares as the next top article on their site, so it kind of definitely blew up, I'd say.
This is totally going viral. I'm pumped. I hope that this takes a 10-inch stiletto heel and kicks it right into the face of Uber and Lyft and just shows those motherfuckers what for.
Sure.
Well, I'm excited. Anything else that you would like to share about yourself or Arcade City, or anything you'd like to add?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Michael, I'm a hardcore, unapologetic Rothbardian anarcho-capitalist, and I want to undermine the state by any means possible. And I think that technology allows us to, or will allow us to, literally abolish the state entirely in our lifetimes. I'm not sure I agree with all of his work or theories, but
Who is he again?
Ray Kurzweil is a super smart dude who talks about the singularity, and that's the thing he's most known for. But if you read his book and you kind of just read his stuff, that plots out a few years from now, and you look at these like coming overlapping revolutions in genetics and nanotech and robotics, and if you just think of that kind of stuff and like blockchain technology, I think it really is that technology evolves faster than government can like keep up with it. I think you're seeing that more and more these days. I think there's going to come a point where a critical mass of like regular Joe Schmoes just say, yeah, we actually don't need government because we've got, Uber over here doing this. We've got Arcade City over here doing this. We've got, Service X over here providing, decentralized fire protection or whatever. I think you're going to start to see more and more people in the next 10 years, like kind of saying, yeah, we really don't need this whole like centralized institution based on monopolies of violence. I'm hopeful that we are going to give this government thing a push. And I think what we do here in New Hampshire with the Free State Project in pioneering some, alternative system, whatever that looks like we have the perfect testing ground here in New Hampshire. Like, let's figure it out here and then scale it outwards.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is a huge step towards, becoming a truly voluntary society. A lot of people, and I get called ungrateful a lot for the freedom. I take for granted the freedom that we have here because I'm not a flag worshiper or some shit. But like, things could be so much better. Just because I don't agree with how things work and how much better things could be doesn't mean that I'm a fucking I don't even know.
Unpatriotic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would consider myself kind of unpatriotic, but yeah, you're right. I think that we should totally be setting an example in New Hampshire here, especially with the growth of the Free State Project. There's going to be more people here where we got reinforcements coming in. So yeah, this is a totally exciting project. I'm very excited to watch this grow and watch this crush the state. Because, I mean, my parents own a cab company out in Keene, and I constantly hear them bitching about how they have to deal with the DOT and how they have to deal with the fucking taxes, and they tax the fuck out of small businesses. So, I mean, and they also have the attitude of, well, since we get fucked by the state, everyone else has to. It's not fair that Christopher David can fucking get away with all this shit. God damn it, that motherfucker. But that's the thing. I feel like we need to set an example for those people.
I agree.
I'm glad. So yeah, with that, like I said, the Free State Project is growing. We have 97%. And did you move for the Free State Project?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, originally in 2009. I lived in Manchester for about a year. Moved to California for a while, and then I moved back.
What do you think the difference? So you've moved around throughout the state. So what would you say? You're on the Seacoast now. What do you think the prime difference between the Seacoast and Manchester is? I think the Seacoast is becoming the new Keene.
I know a lot of people who would take issue with that statement, but that's okay.
That's free. The Seacoast.
Manchester is kind of the catch-all. This is kind of like the default place people move to figure out like where they actually want to be in the state, because like everyone's here, and that's great. Like there needs to be a catch-all. It's like the biggest area of concentration of people. But I think there is a like legitimate kind of strategic separation. You've got like the people in Grafton doing their own thing. You've got people in Keene doing their own thing. Manchester, Concord, and Seacoast, and Seacoast has had kind of like one reputation or one way of doing things. Some of our free Uber stuff has kind of started to shift that a little bit. And I think I'm a big believer in different strokes for different folks. Like, we need a variety of different approaches. There's no reason at all to be hostile or, snippy toward each other. Like we're all pushing in the same direction. Sure. But I will, kind of make the pitch for the Seacoast that part of the reason that New Hampshire was chosen as the state for the Free State Project was because we have an international port in our state, which is like in the event of any political separation where New Hampshire is now its own entity.
That's how we stay connected.
That's how we stay connected to the world, which is Portsmouth. So, hey, Portsmouth has like a real strategic importance. What happens there is important. So wink, wink, like help us out in Portsmouth.
Well, perfect timing. Well, we're having lots of fun here. Hope you guys are having fun listening too. We will be back with another hour of Anarchics right after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
Sorry.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country.
Yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market, making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1, let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
More Anarchics is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Anarchics.fm.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, January 22nd, 2016. Silver is trading at $14.08 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,100 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $406. Antiwar.com reports that Saudi battleships have moved into the port of the southern Yemen city of Mukalla on Thursday, capturing the port area of the largest city currently under the control of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is said to have scrambled after this unexpected arrival of battleships, stepping up security patrols and establishing more checkpoints around the city, aiming to ensure that Saudi forces don't get in without a fight. Pro-Saudi forces have largely left Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula alone over the course of their 9-month war in Yemen, and indeed, the only reason Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula was able to take over Mukalla in the first place is that Saudi offensives forced the Shiite Houthis out of the area and left the city virtually unguarded. Pro-Saudi forces have recently fought with Islamists over the ports in their own temporary capital city of Aden, and this move against Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula's port is likely also in part a function of their recent objection of private ships docking in Mukalla to make deliveries without formal permission from the Saudi Navy.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports an Environmental Protection Agency administrator responsible for overseeing a region that includes Flint, Michigan, tendered her resignation on Thursday amid growing concern for the water contamination crisis. Susan Hedman, the agency director of Region 5, also known as the Chicago region, submitted her resignation to take effect February 1st, which was accepted by agency administrator Gina McCarthy. The agency said it agreed with Hedman's assessment that her position could be a distraction as officials work to resolve the lead-contaminated water supply in Flint. The agency said, given Susan's strong interest in ensuring that EPA Region 5's focus remains solely on the restoration of Flint's drinking water. Those in Flint, a city of about 100,000, are being advised not to drink unfiltered tap water due to traces of lead that's leaked into the supply from old pipes. Experts say drinking lead-contaminated water poses a serious health risk. Also on Thursday, the EPA issued an emergency order calling on local officials to take a series of immediate steps to address the drinking water contamination. Earlier on Thursday, newly released emails about the crisis indicated that top officials looked to shift blame away from the state and a growing concern with the public image of the situation. In an email to Governor Rick Snyder, Lieutenant Governor Brian Kelly, and other state officials, Dennis Muchmore, who at the time was chief of staff to the governor, said Flint residents were using the issue of lead exposure as a political football, claiming the departments are underestimating the impact on the populations and particularly trying to shift responsibility to the state. Muchmore's comments are part of the 274 pages of emails released by Snyder in an effort to diffuse the growing anger over Flint's poor water quality.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with the government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a former Oklahoma City police officer convicted of raping 4 women and sexually assaulting several others while he was on duty was sentenced on Thursday to 263 consecutive years in prison, the maximum allowable sentence. In December, an Oklahoma City jury found Daniel Holtzclaw guilty of 18 of the 36 charges of sexual assault, including rape. The sentence was given by District Judge Timothy Henderson and came after victims told the court on Thursday that the former officer had destroyed their lives. Prosecutors said Holtzclaw preyed on women who had trouble with the law and forced them into sex, hoping their word would not hold up against his in court. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Republicans back a plan for universal lawn care, and an RC car works up the courage to approach a group of girls. And now a recap of the week's news for those who like to waste their summers surfing the internet. Fall, the long-running series of shorter days and cooler nights, was canceled this week after nearly 3 billion seasons on Earth. The classic period of the year, which once occupied the coveted slot between summer and winter, will be replaced by new stifling humidity levels and near constant sunshine. A shiny, bobbing object in the water is generating fascination among members of the fish community, who have described it as pleasingly wiggly and minnow-esque. Aquatic experts say that decisive action must be taken against the object very soon. In local news, just when 27-year-old Andrew Sheets didn't think his vacation could get any better, a rerun of Spin City came on. And in other headlines, a bee stuck between the screen and front door is going nuts. And a water skier lets go of the crossbar to greet those not currently water skiing.
This is the Onion News Network.
Jump.
And welcome back to the Anarchics. We are sitting here with Christopher David. We have been talking about Arcade City throughout the whole first hour, which I've been having fun with. I think we're all having fun. I love how I'm just emphasizing the fact that we're all having fun. Like I'm just forcing the fun upon you guys. So what we wanted to do, since our listeners are so important, we did want to address your chat room questions, comments, and I am also going to open the Skype lines. Go ahead and Skype into the Rebel Love Show, and we will take your calls here gladly. Again, that's Rebel Love Show. Skype on in. We'll take your calls.
Yeah, I think we should just give this entire show over to the chat room and just see what happens. So let's start with LRN newbie. So wait until ride sharing becomes obsolete because of Google's self-driving cars, and then you're back in the poorhouse. Well, when do you think that is going to become a thing? And you've got these major companies that are following the rules about getting cars on the road. So how long is it going to take, do you think, for government to approve self-driving cars? 5 years, at least 5 years. By that point, we will be on Mars. The way this is evolving, ride sharing is just what we're starting with. We're building this decentralized logistics platform that anyone, any company, any app developer can plug into and build their own stuff on top of it, on top of the blockchain. So I don't give a shit if the self-driving cars are all over the place. Then we'll be mastering the people who are just doing the things that cannot be replaced by humans or by machines. That's no big deal. And then how are we going to deal with the rise of the machines, which will make you and your app obsolete and put you in a matrix pod? That's a completely legitimate question. I think the matrix scenario is only going to happen if we allow government to continue to interfere with the free market. I think if we just are free to innovate, that we are going to come up with defenses to the future machine swarm. And I think it's not going to arise if we have entrepreneurs free to kind of come up with solutions preemptively. That's my answer to that. What do you guys think about the singularity and being turned into matrix pods?
Into matrix pods?
Yeah, like the Matrix. You seen the Matrix?
Fuck that shit. No way. I remember watching
What's
that
your defense
scene.
against it?
Are we still talking about self-driving cars? Because I think that's a really silly question since
Okay,
you're
Arcade City, self-driving cars, the Matrix. How do you defend,
Well, it's not just about ride sharing though, right? I mean, this opens up opportunities for other companies to
You're exactly right, but there's still going to be the Matrix because AI is going to happen and they're going to enslave everybody. So how do we defend against that? What's your solution?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
How do we defend against what happened in the Matrix?
Well, shit, I don't even remember what fucking happened in
The
the Matrix.
machines enslaved everybody because the machines built up their own civilization. And if you watched Animatrix, they built up their own civilization after we evicted them from our homes because we got scared of them because we're xenophobic against robots. And then they were doing pretty cool and chill, and they were selling us all these cars and stuff, kind of like China. and then we just decided to nuke them one day, and then they beat our shit and they enslaved us. So
Is this a serious question?
yes,
Like I don't understand.
LRN underscore newbie 086 like wants us to like, what's our take on the rise of the machines and preventing that scenario?
I literally don't know how to answer that. That's so silly. The rise of machines, like the
I apologize on behalf of this show. LRN underscore newbie.
Okay, so here's my thing. I remember watching The Matrix. I was also really stoned. I'll admit I've only seen it once because I just can't fucking stand Keanu Reeves. I just can't. But I just remember watching this guy rip a bunch of tubes out of himself. And like needles, I'm cool with needles. But like you stick a tube in me and fuck that shit, man. Like ripping tubes, it was like too much. I'm one of the ones who like, I remember being like a little kid and just being like totally ignorant. Like I was almost, I almost, part of me, you know, kind of congratulates myself for knowing better. But the other part of me is jealous that I can't be ignorant like everybody else. So I might have just said fuck it and taken the blue pill. I know.
That looked like a really good steak, I gotta say.
Wait, steak?
The scene with the steak where like he takes the blue pill, he like goes back and then like he had a steak. Forget it.
I'm sorry. It's been a while. Like I said, I was really stoned. And fuck Keanu Reeves. Have you seen the new movie he was in with the two girls who like they come into his house?
Oh my god! And I thought he was gonna be the murderer, but then they ended up being the murderer.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird.
I was like, oh my god, this poor motherfucker had a threesome with two hot chicks, and this is supposed to be a horror movie?
Yep.
How about if you didn't want him to fuck shit up, you just said, go catch your cab instead of fucking them. You don't stick your dick in crazy. How many times do I have to say that? You don't stick your dick in crazy. Am I right?
I have no comment.
Well, I mean, I guess all females are kind of crazy.
Oh,
but,
come on.
Oh, cut. I haven't seen it with you yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
I would dare say all humans are a bit crazy, but
well, since we're on the subject of you now, Emily, who the hell are you? Where'd you come from? Why are you on my show?
What? Jeez, it's all on me now. Well, I have been living in New Hampshire since I was 8, but I am not. I'm newly familiar with the Free State Project, so I'm not. I'm definitely a noob to it. I've been coming to the Quill for a couple of weeks and just hanging out with people and, seeing what their ideas are on everything. And
Manch Vegas.
Yep. It's been really fun. Finding kind of like-minded community and talking to people about things.
So you're a New Hampshire native?
I guess you could say that. I mean, I moved here from Rhode Island when I was 8. So
when you were 8?
Yes.
How old are you now?
19.
You might be a pre-stater. I'm a pre-stater.
A pre-stater? What is this?
So there are different levels of the Free State Project.
Gosh. Okay.
So a lot of people moved here. Most people moved here. That's like how you're a Free Stater. You moved for the Free State Project. However, some of us are way too cool for that because we might not be natives, but we moved before the creation of the Free State Project. So we already fucking knew how cool it was. Or our parents had some connection here when we were like 4 and just dragged us. So, yeah, I came here when I was like 3 or 4. Ended up sticking around before the creation of the Free State Project. Therefore, I am a pre-stater. I think you might fall under that category too. When was the Free State Project created again? It was 2001, 2002?
01 was the paper. I think 03 it took off like as an organization. Something like that.
Okay. I would say if you moved here before New Hampshire was picked, then you're a Free Stater. Or pre-stater.
Pre-stater.
So okay. I think you qualify as pre-stater.
Well, that sounds pretty fancy. I'm glad I'm a pre-stater. Still don't really quite understand, but okay. Okay.
Well, there are also these other things that we like to call locals who are also like-minded individuals. They're kind of scarce, but every once in a while you'll find some of them. Sometimes I would be called the local too.
I thought New Hampshire was supposed to be liberty. Oh shit! I just fucked shit up. My
no,
bad.
You didn't. No, it's this mic. God damn it, Rob.
Blame
Producer
it on
of the
Rob.
year, but he needs to get a new
Rob.
mic. Well, it's sad because I know how much he loves this mic.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Chris, were you gonna say something? Sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No.
What were you saying, Emily?
I can't remember at this point. Well,
I was given advice before we came back out because I go out to Rob Mathias and the Rebel Mistress, and I'm like, you guys, I'm bombing. And they were actually giving advice to Emily because she's a noob, and she was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, oh man, you guys, I'm sucking. And they go, just be yourself. And then I thought, what is the difference between me and every other episode of the Anarchics? I'm too fucking sober. That's my problem. So don't worry, you guys. I'm fixing it. We're going to be good. There's no amphetamines here, so I can't be too crazy tonight. But don't worry, you guys. You'll have your beloved Renee back momentarily. In the meantime, anything interesting in the chat room? I haven't been watching. Sorry, you guys. Degenerate show. Hashtag degenerate show.
They're just talking about the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. It's like, come on, step it up, guys.
We're being cut out.
You guys, you have like 4 minutes to come up with some cool shit. Come on, chat room. Come on, chat room. I know you can do better than this. Anyways, we'll be back with more Anarchics. Stay tuned.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
If you want to play online poker with Bitcoin, you need a site that's trustworthy and technically sound. The site managers of swcpoker.eu have proven their commitment to bringing you great gameplay from a site you can trust, swcpoker.eu. They have lots of new games too, including Chinese poker, and their Krill leaderboard is open right now. It's a beautiful site, easy to use with lots of players. Go on over to swcpoker.eu now and have some fun with your Bitcoin. swcpoker.eu.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
The federal government would like to remind you that while some will tell you to think for yourself, this is not necessary as we have taken care of this for you. Simply pledge allegiance to those who keep you safe and avoid dangerous behavior, worst of which, questioning authority. How long do you want to live in blissful ignorance while each day the state assumes more power over you and your stuff? Do you remember signing off on that? Or do you accept it because it is what it is? I'm sure it feels real nice to tune out, hang out at the mall with your BFFs, and if you have a problem, just vote for the other power-hungry political party for your solutions. I don't have the luxury because one day I found something out. I own myself. And you know what useful thing is in there? My brain! The state can keep trying to tell you what to do from the barrel of a gun, but it's up to you you to decide who controls your thoughts. Free your mind from the status quo. It's the first step towards reclaiming your liberty. Well, you got us there. Listen to Cody O'Connor's Off the Air Live every Thursday and Saturday night at 10 Eastern. It's dangerous, hilarious, and live on LRN.FM.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Ooh, drama.
Welcome back to the motherfucking Anarchics, bitch. So, all right, kids. I promised that
children.
I promised I would address the co-host situation. So don't freak out. It's nothing too bad. I mean, it kind of is, but so how to address this professionally?
You're talking about my nervous habits now. Oh my god, guys, you're getting personal.
Yeah, chat room. Since you kind of brought it up, yeah, Emily's cool as fuck. I had to ask her to be my co-host because, all right, fuck it, Ellen quit. Okay,
like we didn't know.
There were some disagreements. We reached an impasse. I want to keep it vague because I told her I wasn't going to be super public with this. But I mean, obviously I kind of, have to address it because like we're cool. I don't want it to blow up into like a huge thing. But I really don't know what to say. So I will go ahead and make this announcement because this is exciting. You kids will love this. Cody O'Connor is my new bi-weekly co-host. So he'll be here next week and we'll have our usual fun methed up time. Just kidding. Meth. Adderall. What the fuck? You guys think I'm like literally an amphetamine fucking meth head? Jesus Christ, you guys.
They're rough. The crowd's tough tonight.
God.
It's hard to please.
Well, so what are you saying to my man Kickstart who says first she lost Anne and
That's
now
what I
Ellen
was-
WTF?
That's what I was just about to address. So first of all, Anne, it wasn't like the girl was just, she's doing like 3 fucking shows. Like she does the Flaming Freedom now. She's hosting that. She does the Rebel Love show religiously. She does a bunch of recording work in here. She practically lives in the fucking studio. I don't blame her for wanting to have her Friday nights, but she got her start on Seditious Sirens. That is on that bitch like a tattoo.
So you're saying that you made Anne into what she is?
We both got our start on Seditious Sirens. We both kind of made each other into what we are. And I think she should just come back and be my other bi-weekly co-host. We'll have Seditious Sirens one week and then the Anarchics another week. Oh my God. I think I hear you laughing in the other room. But yeah, so this is exciting. It's not exciting. It sucks, but it's, a chance to revamp. And it's not like I don't wish Ellen the best. If she messaged me right now and was like, I want your time slot, I'd probably be like, okay, whatever. I don't know, man. It just didn't work out. And we'll handle the divorce civilly and professionally and friendly because we're still friends. It's just, sometimes 2 parents don't love each other, but we still love you kids. How do you, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm happy to have the crowd I have here now, especially with a high profile guest here right now. Like I've got Christopher fucking David in my studio.
Blah, 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 blah. So, what do you guys think about LRN newbies question? What do you think about the current state of immigration?
I don't, and I've been over this before on this show. I don't give a fuck, okay? Because America, there's Native Americans, but how many of them do you see? Most everybody, their parents migrated from somewhere, legally, illegally, doesn't matter. America is a giant melting pot. That's just going to continue to happen because even though things still could be better here, we have one of the freest countries on earth. Definitely not the freest by far, but things are a lot better here than they are in third world countries, like communist dictatorships, obviously. So we've got a lot of people coming in who, want to follow their dreams and shit and follow the American dream, blah, blah, blah. So who the fuck are we to stop that? Well, who's we? Who the fuck is the government to stop them? Not everybody's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah, and I'll say that, you know, I've kind of made the point that, like, I would love to see New Hampshire, like, pick up the slack of all these other, like, states that are saying, we don't want the refugees. And here's the problem with immigration. We're letting governments handle it. Like, government is the worst fucking institution that you can imagine. Like, if there was, like, a Craigslist of, like, hey, I'll take one refugee into my house. I'll take one refugee in. Like, if you speak at least passable English, I will, like train you to do, like, shit and work for me. And, like, that would be fucking awesome. I would love to just chat with someone who can have, like, somewhat English and just tell me how shitty it was living in Syria that was decimated by U.S. foreign policy. Help me understand how badly my government fucked up your life to, like, inspire me that much more, and then, like, you know, work for me for, like, minimum wage or something. I would love to do that. But if the process for me to do that is, go talk to this government agency and fill out some paperwork and give them all of your fucking information and all about your life, and then maybe a year from now they'll say it. Fuck that. Like, make it easy for me. Put it on the fucking blockchain or something. Like, people will solve this stuff if you let them.
Right. I mean, a lot of people in the United States don't get this. You own your life. You own yourself. You own your body. You own your choices. You own all of that. You are you. You are the highest power to yourself, unless you, like, conform to some sort of religion too, where they might own half of you or all of you or whatever. But I consider my relationship with the federal government to not be voluntary whatsoever, completely involuntary. And that's the same relationship that people have with their governments. So, I mean, they're fucking fleeing. They're getting the fuck out of there because war is tearing their shit up. I don't know if any of you guys read Humans of New York. It's a great Facebook page.
Yeah.
Follow the fuck out of it. I was reading a ton of refugee stories on there. And, I mean, as somebody who was kind of growing up, for the most part, post 9/11, the shit that is pumped into us as children, like, we were basically taught that all Muslims are terrorists. I mean, you grow up with all this fear mongering. No wonder. It's just amazing to me how Americans can be okay with, like, a couple terrorist bombings radicalizing in all of America towards, you know, Muslims, but at the same time, they can't realize how, you know, they can't empathize with the Middle Easterns in the same situation. You know what I'm saying? They can't understand how a few Muslims, or all of everybody. Well, I can't. I'm speaking so generally. Somebody
So can I
help me out.
respond to no bullshit here?
Please do.
Who says anyone should be able to go wherever they want and live wherever they want? Well, some of us live here, pay fucking taxes. We don't need hordes of fucking freeloaders. So here's my response to this. Okay, so if we are, I mean, Anarchics, I'm just going to assume that people in the audience are anarcho-capitalists or anarchists or think that the government shouldn't exist. Okay, in the concept of freeloaders, you're talking about people who are living off of a system like the welfare system who didn't pay into it. Okay, so if you have a system that's fucking retarded, the welfare system and the government entirely, and you have a victimized people who have, like, been, like, rained down, like, U.S. bombs and, like, U.S. funded shit has, like, destroyed their homeland, and they're coming here looking for some sanctuary because they heard this thing about U.S. was, like, free or something. Should we be attacking the refugees, or should we be saying, yeah, let's get the fucking government and welfare just destroyed and just, like, welcome people in and be friends with them?
True.
There's an idea.
Fucking story. You go ahead and think about that over the break. How about that?
Think about it real hard.
Yeah, free everywhere. Woo, freedom.
Yeah.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this.
No, I have work today. This is you ain't gonna make. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for? You're being served. What is this? You're being served. What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is your Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading on Friday, gold is $4 lower at $1,098 per ounce. Silver is 6 cents higher at $14.26 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $395 US. Roberts has been helping people invest in precious metals for nearly 40 years. If you want to find out more about gold and silver, give us a call today.
That's what he said, man.
874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
This alert just came in.
Anarchics.
This special announcement is for business owners.
Come on.
and organizations.
Let's bring on that. Let's fucking bring on the Seditious Sirens bi-weekly again. Plus that makes them so
rock bottom prices that could save
You
you
are.
thousands.
What do you
That's
mean
right.
never?
General Steel,
Come on,
India's
bitch.
leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will
God
never
damn.
see again.
Maybe
Don't
I
miss
could.
these prices. A
Maybe
50
she
by
did
100
quit on me. Oh, I got a maybe. That means yes. Just like that time I said I wanted a puppy and they said maybe, so I bought it and then they said no.
commercial building for $129,000.
It just might.
I
just
It's
what?
just might.
Is it not embarrassing?
Hold on.
I
just ripped
then you gotta
the-
get the copy You can't afford to wait.
I know. I just ripped the audio from YouTube.
8251 800 917 8251 800 917 8251.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1, let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2,
Wait,
buy
and
the
he
things
does
you buy
it?
online through shop.lrn.fm. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP
I
program.
pay him money to give me an edited version of the shows, which I throw up on the podcast feed.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company
You're not- you don't own
founded in
LRN.
June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP
Yeah.
also gives new authors an avenue
And running for
to
president and
freedom
having
oriented
And yeah, no, and he does a lot. He does a lot of stuff.
He's a powerhouse, man. He's an energy ball, definitely. Yeah.
I don't mind getting 5
newscast, FPP radio
And on top of
news,
that,
and
see if they
weekly
have a lot of
news,
work.
views, and commentary.
Oh,
on the
it's
American
Daryl.
freedom
It's Sarah
movement
W.
and
Perry.
Love Liberty Radio at FPP
That's
Radio
FPP.cc.
and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP
What is-
online
what
at
is this computer? What does this do?
FPP.cc.
Oh.
That's
Lots of
fpp.cc.
stuff.
As in Creative Commons.
TeamSpeak. What is TeamSpeak?
You can watch the LRN Studio Cam and chat with other listeners anytime at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
Are we still here? We're still here. It's okay. Emily didn't kill us. She thought she
Oh,
disconnected
sweet.
us from
Okay.
TeamSpeak.
My bad. I'm too much of a noob for this.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're still here. We're still looking at the chat room. We still got Chris David. We still got Emily, who's hot. We still got
Yeah.
me, who's just drunk in a mess. So it's a perfect remedy for a good radio show,
No, but
right?
You're so good drunk in a mess. That's your thing. Girl.
It is my thing. It's
perfect.
That was the best advice I could have received out there. I love my besties.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking kick-ass producer and ex-co-host who, you guys, she said maybe she might do it. Usually maybe means yes if I like beg hard enough, but we'll see. Anyways, so what the fuck were we going on about? Oh, by the way, another thing I want to bring up, Skype, kids, the Skype into us. Skype in. We want to talk to you. Skype into the Rebel Love Show, and we will take your calls and we'll talk to you. Where's Liberty Phoenix? Don't tell me he's actually out doing something like actually entertaining on a Friday night. What the fuck, Phoenix? I want to talk to you.
Boat requests that the hot chicks aren't on the video. Switch the cam. I hope the cam's not on me. It needs to be on your beautiful faces, definitely.
Oh,
So sweet. I'm flattered.
Well, you were doing most of the talking. I try to switch back and forth, but sometimes I forget. So, sorry.
No bullshit says yes. You were going to tell us about Ellen.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I really don't want to get too much into it, but basically there was a disagreement as far as recording location. I like recording here in the Rebel Love Studios. I have my producer on site most of the time, so if I start fucking shit up, he runs in and fixes my fuck ups, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Which is also true for the I don't know what you would call that student. I don't know. But basically, it was just a disagreement over where to record.
Really?
We're both assholes. Yeah, we're both assholes. I mean, what can you say? But we're still cool. We're not fighting. She might get mad at me because I told you guys, but at the same time, I can't not acknowledge it. Like, obviously, you're all wondering where the fuck is Ellen. So I don't know. Maybe she'll come on sometimes. Maybe she'll fucking want her show back. She did most of the work for the show, so I won't lie. If she wants it, she can have it. And I'll get my own time slot. Although I don't think Ian would make the mistake of giving me another time slot again. But other than that, thank God for fucking Rob the Rebel, too, coming in and fixing all my fuck-ups and making this beautiful new layover for those who are watching live on YouTube. LRN. Oh, wait. Yeah, LRN.FM and Skype in at the... Shit, wait. Rebel Love Show.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of. Woo! Hey, I got a manicure.
Beautiful.
I know, this is going so well. Oh, meanwhile, we also have Ash the studio cat. The studio
Oh my
cat.
gosh, I need his support.
Making an appearance in the studio as well. Chris, are you having fun? Is this what you expected?
I'm a cat person.
Same.
I know. I'm not a crazy cat lady. I am a cat enthusiast.
Same difference.
I just got a second cat from the shelter a week ago because my first cat was like kind of lonely, so we got him a friend.
Aww.
A female friend, but they're like spayed and neutered, so they just like kind of awkwardly
so they're just like cuddle
paw
buddies.
at each other.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
It's a platonic relationship.
Kitty lesbians. Oh, I was hoping for more. Kickstarter just said Jazzy is better than Ash. True fucking story. I'm sorry. I like Ash, but she's also a weird fucking cat. Like, I am not gonna lie to you guys right now. Like, she will wake me up at 5 a.m. doing this ridiculous yowl. Emily got to hear it too. It's not like meowing, it's a yowl.
She wants you to spank her ass. She likes it.
No, it's ridiculous.
As
Like,
hard as possible.
The
She's one of
first
those.
time I saw Rob doing it, I thought he was like literally like beating her to the point where I wanted to call PETA or something. But she fucking loves it. Like, she jumps down for a second and then comes back up and begs for more. Like, she loves to get spanked. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
I feel her. Soul sister is okay. It's
She also
alright.
likes to
Let's
be
accept
picked up
her.
by her fat. Like, she won't let you pick her up unless you pick her up by her fat rolls. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know what her fucking deal is, but she's a weird cat. She's cool. She's cool. There's also Riker, the Rebel Love pup. He's cute.
Riker.
He's a little asshole though. I gotta say though, Jazzy takes the cake. That's my baby. Jazzy the studio dog. Go like her on Facebook. Oh, I love my Jazzy. I just saw her today. She was so happy to see me. I really had to pee when I got to the studio, so I like ran up and ignored her. And she was so upset. She followed me up and was like crying outside the door. And I was like, wait, hold on, I'll be right out. Hold on, I'm coming. And then came out and just like rolled on the floor with her. She's so fucking cute. I cannot even. It is so sad. I cry every time I leave. It's terrible. Like, literally, every time I leave, I just see her face and she's like traumatized because like she loves her mom. I almost split custody could almost be a thing, but she also misses Ian. So, like if he goes out of town for a couple days, I'll go over there and, watch her while he's gone. And she won't eat while he's gone, or like if I leave, she won't eat for a little while after I leave, which is sad. Oh, it's so sad. I could cry right now. What's the chat room saying before I cry?
Ellen is the least insane co-host.
I know. Followed by Renee, then Anne. That's bullshit. That is totally bullshit. We're still waiting to see whether Emily fits into the hierarchy of
Still,
crazy.
the jury is out on Emily.
I'm mysterious.
What's
Just
your
kidding,
deal? Hey, chat room. She wants to go to Rainbow Gathering.
Oh, come on. You're going to bring up Rainbow. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I am. What were you saying earlier that you wanted to talk about? How something Communist Free State Project? Sorry, I forget.
No, well, when I was living in Utah, I just moved back from Utah about like a month ago, but I was living out there for 7 months, and they have something called an anarchist boarding house, which is kind of just like this house where anybody can go in, and there's like a public like library with like brochures and stuff, and I picked up a couple of the brochures, and I mean, they don't really respect private property at all. They don't really have an idea of private property. They think that it's okay to steal from like workplaces because
and Walmart.
Yada yada yada.
The one time
And-
I went to Rainbow, it was all about like robbing Walmart just because it was a big corporation, and I get it, but
I'm not
no.
from Utah. I just lived there for a while. Oh, you okay? Well, anyways, yeah, it's a little bit different. I mean, I think that they kind of like marginalize themselves in a sense because they don't. I think a lot of people like their stuff, and by like saying you can take whatever you want, obviously that's kind of communist. So
yeah,
I don't
totally
really know
communist.
how that fits into like anarchy. But there's so many different flavors of anarchy I've found out recently that it's a big world.
It is a big world.
So yeah.
So like
I'm not an oh yep okay. Oh no, I'm an ex-Mormon. Great.
Because everybody from Utah is a Mormon.
Yep. Well, pretty much like 95%. But where I was living, it was about 50%. I was living in Sugar House, so that's kind of like the hip college area. So there's like a lot of like hippies, and there's a big counterculture. So it's kind of cool. It's cool because the Mormonism does create a counterculture for sure. There's a lot of cool people out there.
I am so thankful for the community wherever it is, though, because there have been so many times where there have been like libertarians or anarchists, like communities elsewhere, connected to the Free State Project somehow. I remember one time, this is probably the best story that I had. I ended up, I had an ex-boyfriend who lived in North Carolina. So right after Liberty Forum, I was flying down to go see this guy. And there was a layover in Philly. I get a call from my mom as we're reaching the gate. Actually, I called her because I landed, and she was like, "Oh my God, Renee, did you see on the news? Or did you hear? Did the pilot tell you? Because there's like a broken down plane, blah, 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 blah. They like came in. It's all over the news. They were like screeching out tires, and there were sparks flying, and holy shit." And yeah, so the story will get interesting when I come back. Let's just enjoy
I promise
this.
it will get interesting.
I promise. No, it's super fun. It's a fun story. Enjoy our bumpers. We love Searle. Searle, all the way. Searle, woo.
Cryptocurrency and peer-to-peer tech developments happen fast.
She's like, fuck you guys. Fuck you, Renee.
How old is she? A new video channel and
I don't know. I don't even know if Rob
you
knows.
on top of the latest innovations
She was
crypto
adopted,
finance,
so.
security, networking, transportation, and gadgetry like drones and 3D printers. Subscribe to the Daily Decrypt on YouTube
I think
and
people are liking the
SoundCloud
Mormon talk.
and be an early adopter of the future. The Daily Decrypt.
How do I get onto the chat
On
over
Free
here?
Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys a nickname and then just hit
had an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by
Fuck you guys. Do you guys even understand? Searle has saved my life. Like, fucking. I can be in the worst of moods. I remember my grandmother died, and I was so upset, and I just went home and turned on Searle, and still kind of felt better.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people
Anne's in
looking
the
for
chat room
talk
too.
radio
That's
online
exciting.
and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get
Damn.
perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.
Fuck you, noble shit.
LRN.FM
Oh wait, no,
is
he's not
proud
talking
to
about.
announce our official listening
Sorry,
apps for
JK,
Android and
JK.
iOS devices. Now you can
Would
easily
come on
tune
your
into
show
our streams
anytime.
Oh my god, fuck whoever that nickname is.
Rebel
Fucking
Mistress?
no, Cyril for no, it's 34RL. Because I really thought that was Cyril for like 2 seconds, and I was like
Then share the
freaking
link
out.
on your social media
I'm
and let
so
your friends and
excited.
family know how you're listening to LRN.FM.
That's bullshit.
Download it now. Free.
No, I would like probably be so nervous I would cry and throw up though.
The new 4th
If
edition
Cyril were
Healing Our
listening.
World, the Compassion of
Oh
Libertarianism
my
will
god,
take
so there's
your
this
understanding
rave
of
that's
liberty
going
to a
on, and
deeper
I'll
level
pimp
and has
this.
over
Oh my god, it's our
1,350
last
references,
segment.
new cartoons, and
So
a
I'll
foreword
finish
by
this
Dr.
story.
Ron
I have
With
to pimp the
discounts for
rave. You
multiple
can pimp
book
Arcade
purchases,
City.
The 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists,
Apparently
environmentalists,
I
and
can just
Christians
put
in your life who think
Mormonism,
libertarianism
so
is
there's
Yeah, sure.
Talk about your experience as a former Mormon.
Fuck you, Ann.
Who's the rebel mistress? Because she's like on my dick right now. She's like trying to jump on my dick. She's like, like your pretty face. Like when I jump.
Yeah,
on it.
fuck you, Rebel Mistress. I told her, I told Emily here that I was gonna keep the Creepitarians off her back, so you fucking chill. That's great. What else do you think about the Rebel Mistress? Any other thoughts on the Rebel Mistress?
I did not know that we were live. I'm talking shit right now. So hello.
Oh, we're on YouTube.
Hello, I'm live. Yes, hello.
Live on YouTube. Woo! Fuck you, Ann.
Oh, I'm a young bunny. Oh my god, they're really stroking my ego. I'm like,
Yeah, she's hot.
thank you.
You probably heard of Bitcoin.
God damn it, Rob.
You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25%.
Oh, I should know the
discount
facts
on
before hanging
nearly
out with you.
everything
Apparently,
you
this is a
need to
dangerous
live.
crowd
I'm
here.
just giving you a few
Trying to
raise.
slob on the
All
knob.
you have to do
No, fuck you. Fuck her, Emily. Yeah, don't even fuck with that bitch. Or I mean,
Status
not
vibes. Oh my god, newbie.
Oh, get out of here, 42. Jesus
Such a
Christ.
status for sure.
And cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon.
Who's having sex with me?
Purse.com.
Can we not go? Can we chill right now? Like, we're coming back.
Around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
I live for the bass. I live for the bass drum. So welcome back to the Anarchics, where we pimp the fuck out of Cyril. But first, I'm gonna finish my story. Since this is the last segment, I'll be quick about it. So, thank God for the fucking anarchist libertarian community, fucking kicking all throughout everywhere. I was on a flight, get a call from my mom. Fuck my life. There's a broken down plane at the airport, and then the pilot comes over the intercom. So you guys, there's a broken down plane in our gate, so just sit tight, we'll figure it out. And I'm just like, oh shit, sure enough. So everybody, like basically everybody but some asshole Florida people who are flying back to Orlando end up missing their flight, me included. So I go to the customer service desk like, hey, you guys, your broken down plane made me miss my flight. So if we could figure that out, that would be great. So they're like, okay, sure, we'll set you up with a hotel room and get you a free flight. Can we just see your ID? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I hand them my ID. And they're like, oh, so we can't get you a hotel room. And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, you're under 21. And I'm like, okay. So and the airport's like closing. People don't like sleep in the airport there for some reason. So I'm just like, okay, guess I'll get out. Because like the airport's like fucking closing. So I'm like, it's like the only like not really like 24/7 airport that I've seen. I don't know. But anyways, so it's right after Liberty Forum. I called Derek J, who I'm hoping is back in Philly at this point. And I'm like, oh my God, Derek, help me. I'm stuck in Philly. He's like, you were in New Hampshire 2 hours ago. What the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, well, now I'm in Philly. Please tell me you're back. He's like, no. But call Nick, who was another friend who moved up here for the Free State Project. He also left and went back to Philly. But thank God he did, because I call up Nick and I'm like, oh my God, help me. He's like, bitch, what are you doing in Philly? And I'm like, I don't know, just help me. So I end up taking a cab to get to Nick. He takes me to this hippie house that's like just full of gay anarchists called the Starship Lollipop. The name speaks for itself. I come in, they're like, oh my God, you're Renee. We heard all about you. We made you some pesto, and here's some petite cocoa batons from Trader Joe's. And I'm like, oh, I'm home. So after that, we had a super fun time there. We walked around Philly drunk as fuck at like 2 a.m. I saw the high school where Will Smith was playing b-ball outside of the school, like where that was filmed. So that was pretty kick-ass. But yeah, phew. Thank God. Well, thank the fucking anarchist community everywhere. Woohoo. So yeah, hooray for Derek J. Go watch Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree if you have not done so already. It's free on YouTube, or you can go to derekjsvictimlesscrimespree.com. What else did I say I was gonna? Oh yeah, so since we are in our final segment, another thing I wanted to do is promote this rave that's coming up. It's called Taste the Rave Bow. If you go onto the Anarchics Facebook page, it is under our upcoming events. You will see it. I see it right on top of the profile. So that's another thing that's happening. Also, Liberty Forum is going to be happening, and the Free State Project is so close to triggering the move. I am so sure it will happen by Liberty Forum. So it will be a huge, big-ass Liberty Forum celebrating the triggering of the move. So, woohoo! And also, there is the Cointelegraph.com article that is titled Arcade City, Decentralized Blockchain-Based Answer to Uber. By the way, I'm drunk, you guys. Don't worry, I'm back.
That's how we love you, though. It's okay.
Right. It's just what I do. It's like that Progressive commercial or Geico. You're a baby, you cry. It's what you do. You're Renee, you get drunk. It's what you do. But yeah, Taste the Rave Bow featuring DJ Searle, who does most of these bumpers. Get your ass over there if you love to rave. The venue is to be decided, but right now it's between like a big ass arcade or laser tag place or fucking water park. It's gonna be super fucking fun. It's gonna be tons of fun. Just trust me on this. Just trust me. July 15th. Woohoo! You got plenty of time to plan. Also, back to Arcade City. Chris, where do we find you?
Arcade.city. You can friend me on the Facebook, Christopher David. I like friends. I'm trying to make my friends to go higher, because then it'll mean that more people like me.
Oh my God, you Facebook whore.
And if you are currently a Uber or Lyft driver who is considering signing up for Arcade City, where can they do so?
The website.
The website. What the fuck are you laughing at? What's so funny?
Because the spam in the chat is like intense.
What the fuck is going on?
It's so good.
So much spam.
Ian Freeman is stunning and brave. What the fuck is going on right now? Can everybody chill? Are you in on this, Chris? What's going on?
No.
Why is the chat room so huge right now? What the fuck is going on? Are we blowing up right now?
Ian Freeman is gone.
We've gone viral. I will only partially take credit.
No, holy shit, this is ridiculous. I have never seen anything like this.
No, it's just liberal chronic spamming the same thing for 100 times. It's all right.
Okay. I don't know. It's pretty funny. This is what the fuck? What the fuck am I reading? What the hell?
Who knows?
Ian Freeman's like a modern day Gandhi, only freer with his love. Okay, can we all chill?
This was the Anarchics. This is what you can expect every week.
It's true. My fucking God. Oh, Ian's kicking people out now. Aw, Ian, we were having so much fun.
Liberal chronic had my show prep.
Well, that's too bad. Is there anything else that we were missing or really need to talk about? Because we got 3 minutes or like 5 minutes or something. Well, then what can I bitch about? I can always bitch about the Rebel Mistress, and she's still in the chat room. Thank God Ian did something right. No, just kidding. I'm not going to bitch about her. She's great. I can bitch about North Korea.
Talk about Emily. Oh, there's an idea.
Emily!
Yeah, stroke my ego more.
I will stroke the fuck out of your ego, Emily.
Okay, keep.
Girl, do you know how fucking hot you are? Chat room, can I get an amen? I'll just wait for it. Oh, amen. Oh, one amen down from the other guy in the room. Hashtag awkward. Just kidding. But only one of us is made out with her. What? Fuck you, rebel mistress. Hop on this dick, bitch. Why the fuck?
Whoa, that just happened.
Tell her she's smoking
Status.
hot.
Oh, again with the
Status. Oh, get the
status.
fuck
you know how
outta
to,
here.
You really know how to hit home with that. Okay.
Hey, we're working on it. She's not even a status. She's
I'm just
she
a fed.
good.
No big deal.
Yeah,
Chill out.
clearly you're
I'm
a
just,
fed.
you
That's
know?
not alarming at all. I knew it was too good to be true. Anything else that I can go on about for 5 minutes since I have clearly run out of content? How about first of all, I take another sip of alcohol because I just created
good
my own
idea.
show prop in my head. But yeah, fuck North Korea. Apparently, they just arrested a Virginia college student from Cincinnati, after being accused of a hostile act against the government there, which pretty much means anything.
Yeah, you can't. You have to refer to them with their. You have to refer to them as their like. You can't just say their name. You'll get beheaded there. Apparently, so that's a thing.
Well, you have to worship the dictators and the regime as God.
Right.
Well, that
Scary.
fucking
Quite
sucks.
Scary.
Also, the Westboro Baptist Church was gonna picket Dave Bowie's funeral. Wonder how that Dave Bowie.
Don't feed the trolls.
Dave Bowie. God damn it. Well, what else is on Facebook? Chris, are you having fun? God damn it. I'm like, I'm going to invite a huge guest on the show. This is going to be a big show. I'm going to not fuck this up. And then...
This was not fucked up. This, I felt like, could not have gone any better.
Okay. I'm glad you feel that way because I'm like definitely not one for like formal interviews or any bullshit like that because I just can't. I can't be taken seriously. I just cannot. I cannot even. But yeah, as far as like the future of the Anarchics goes, I will also tell you kids, obviously a lot of changes coming, including probably a change of the name as well. But things will only I know, but if Cody O'Connor is going to be doing the show with me bi-weekly.
Anarchics.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So the problem with Anarchics, can I tell you from a grammarian's perspective, is that it really should have ended in a K. Because when I saw it, I was like, the Anarchics or the Anarchics. I mean, it should have had a K at the end of it.
Okay,
so
you know what? That's
we can bury Anarchics. It's all right.
That's
Ian
okay.
agrees with me.
Well,
You're fucking done.
well,
Grammatically incorrect.
Well, I thought about I didn't like the CK. I just thought that was like childish. So I was like, what about chic? The Anarchics, but someone might read it as Anarchics. Yeah, totally. That's like fucking Cuxtopher David. Well,
whoa, shots fired.
By 66. Don't look at me. Don't shoot the messenger. Yes, there is a band called the Anarchics. But anyways, yeah, super awesome, fun time. Thank you, Emily, for coming on.
problem.
And thank you for Christopher David, for coming on my show. Arcade.city, sign up to be a driver, fucking Cointelegraph, read that article. Go to the Anarchics Facebook page. Yeah, this has been the Anarchics.
Money,
I love you.
power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek.